Now, here you have two British police officers enforcing Keir Starmer's law, and it's posted for the world to see, right? Like the finest that Britain has to offer. And this is what us from the European Union managed to see. This is what you from the United States managed to see, right? Because we're adults here. Like, we can have a conversation. We can debate. Did they act properly? Did they use excessive force? But let's see what the British person sees. Well, the British person sees jack shit. Unless he doxes himself, right? Like, just dox yourself, bigot. Just dox yourself so we can know what you're accessing, right? Like, the government is very concerned about the British people. Like, what if they vote incorrectly? What if they're watching Britain's finest and they come to the wrong conclusion? Like, how can the government know? And how can the government protect its citizens without safety, right? So all you gotta do is to dox yourself. Now, the interesting thing is that I hear, and I haven't verified this because only some people are experiencing, that even if you're outside the UK, you must still dox yourself. Like, to use the internet, just dox yourself. Apparently, this may be because companies don't want to risk someone from Britbong using a VPN. And so by forcing everyone to dox themselves, problem solved. You need to understand, this law doesn't punish you if, or you know, an underage person, like a 16-year-old that can vote. Like the 16-year-old that can vote and goes on Twitter and wants to see like what is happening, what are the British people doing, and he somehow uses a VPN in order to sneak a peek. He's not being punished for that. No, the company is being punished, right? Like the social media company for not making the robust age verification robust enough. And so the company goes like, all right, well then everyone has to dox themselves. And my God, you know, like I talk with some people, holy shit. Like there are some people on social media chat. You know, the mother of stupid people is always pregnant. And these people are the examples. They're like, so why do you want children to come on your Discord? Are you a pedophile? It's like, no, I just don't want your mother to dox herself when she comes onto my Discord. Like, I'm pretty sure that in the age of technology of 2025, parents have access to enough technology to spy on their children 24/7. Like, when I was a kid, I would go outside, my mom had no idea where I was. I have no mobile phone. She had access to no smartphone. Like, literally, she just didn't know what I was. Now you can even get a watch that will tell the heartbeat of your child who is like 20 kilometers away. Like, don't give me that shit. Oh my goodness, the children. Well, what about the parents? Not to mention, why isn't the government pushing for companies to create devices for children? Like, for instance, you know, like the little child, the poor 16-year-old that, by the way, again, in Britain can vote. Why can't he have access to a smartphone that has like inbuilt device to protect him from, you know, seeing the police officers arresting people or having a conversation on Reddit? I gotta say though, no, like this is peak British culture. So a 16-year-old little boy can vote, but he can't access Reddit, he can't go on 4chan, he can't go on Discord, he can't see the brave officers of the law arresting people. Now I gotta wonder, how is he going to vote? Like, picture yourself when you're 16, right? And you like a product. Doesn't matter if the product is good for you or not, you just like it. You like going on Reddit, you like being targeted. And then the government goes like, no, you're not allowed. Why? Because we say so. How are you going to vote? It's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be peak cinema. Now, I was wondering, like, what is the actual purpose of this law? You know, and initially it's like, well, to get people to dox themselves. Get people to self-censor. Because if you know that you gave your ID and you're talking about police officers arresting someone, well, you best be very careful what you say, right? But I think there's another reason, and that may be financial. Number one, it's a social media tax. Like, I'm not going to pretend that this is a porn tax, because unless you get off on seeing police officers arresting someone, that's not pornography, right? And yet, the law asks you for an ID to see it. And so it's a social media tax. Obviously, the government is going to tax VPN companies a little bit more because they're going to make a lot more money. More importantly, it's going to fine a lot of social media companies. And that's probably one of the main reasons. It's a revenue tax. Like, they're fucking the internet so that they can fine these companies and then make more money off of it. Because I don't understand any other reason. Like, they already managed to find ways to bypass the technology. And also, it's a fucking humiliation ritual. Like, look at this shit. Look. I mean, come on, right? Right? Like, if you are a person that's defending this, I have no respect for you, and you fucking deserve it. You deserve to dox yourself whenever you go on the internet. If that makes you feel morally superior, right? Like if your country is incapable of producing parents that can actually parent their children, and your solution is to try to force this shit on the rest of the world, you fucking deserve it. I hope my child doesn't grow up next to your child. Because my child is going to be a very negative influence on your kid. And anyway, the fun hasn't even begun. I give it 1 or 2 years until you're going to have like some turmoil in Britain. You know, some protests or whatever. And they're going to decide to block people based on their face or to block people based on their ID. And then you're not going to be able to make other accounts. Then you're going to have very difficult time talking about events. Because, like, again, you can't see pictures, right? You can't see shit. It's not about porn. It's literally about what I've said. Like, all those people that were defending, oh, yeah, well, you know, like, I'm so glad porn is not anymore. Like, finally, Jesus, I did your will. Jesus Christ, I am your warrior. I am your champion on the internet. And then they're wondering, oh, why can't I post about immigrants? Why can't I post about my religion? Oh, shit. Well, hold on a minute. Like, I was only against the bad thing. Like, I only wanted the government to go against the bad thing. Why is the government going against stuff that I care about? Oh, this is not fair. Oh, censorship is so bad. Not to mention, you're stifling competition. Like, there are so many small websites that are unable to compete with this system. So, like, for instance, 4chan. You know, say what you want about 4chan. I know, like, a lot of people don't like it for various reasons. But it was a website that allowed for people to actually express their opinions. Like, you could go there and you could actually see what else people think that's outside of the mainstream. 4chan isn't the only one, obviously. Like, there's other websites. But they're not going to be able to compete. They already region blocked Britain. And if more countries follow suit, because, like, this can be contagious, right? Australia wants to do it. France is interested, the European Union. Eventually, VPNs won't work because, like, every single country is probably going to have these rules. And at some point, there's going to be, like, a very small list of countries that won't have them. And then, you know, like, they can pressure the remaining companies to, like, region block those as well. And the internet is going to become very fragmented. Unless there's pushback to this. And so far, I see people that are very happy with doxing themselves. They're very excited. Like, this is so great. Even though, like, I keep showing to them that, look, like, there are ways around it. Like, kids already found ways around it. Like, you're being retarded. It's not how it works. The only way I can understand why they don't want to agree with me, it's either because they're so ideologically possessed or entrenched into their beliefs that it's not really about keeping kids safe. It's about them feeling morally superior. Like, somehow their worldview is being validated or something. Or they're just bots and shills. Like, it's quite possible that the government has paid people, you know, like the Chinese government has done this with their 50-cent army or whatever it was called, right? Like, that can also happen in modern time where the government hires people to shill for them. You know, it's called astroturfing. Happens. And so, yeah, it's really interesting because seeing people how they're advocating against their own interests, it's like, dude, I don't want kids to be able to go at the internet in places that they don't belong. And honestly, you know, even on Twitter, when I see a picture of a cop arresting someone and I hear a teenager have their take, I feel like it's a human rights violation against me. The fact that I need to listen to a teenager's opinion on that. Because 99% out of time they're wrong. And I end up arguing until I check their profile and I see that they're underage. Like, what the fuck am I even arguing with this chucklehead? Block. Right? So, like, if I could do that to all, that would be great. But unfortunately, it's not the teenagers that have to dox themselves. It's grown-ass adults that have to dox themselves. And that's the biggest issue that I have with, like if you find a system that can make sure that kids don't go on the internet, I will support it myself. I would even donate it, but this ain't it. This is not about kids. This is not about pornography. This is simply about making money, taxing businesses, crippling competition, and more importantly, making sure that people dox themselves.